What is up, people? Welcome to the new video. Today's video is going to be all about resistance bands and a quality of resistance bands that you have to watch out for if you use them to train, especially for people who use resistance band as a form of assistance, not resistance. So let's get straight into it. If we take a resistance band, the way it works, if you stretch it out, energy is being stored inside the band in the form of kinetic energy. If you release it, the kinetic energy makes the resistance bands shorten again. Also, if you stretch it out lightly, the amount of energy stored inside the band is going to be smaller than if you stretch it out more. So the more the band is stretched, the more energy is being stored inside it. Now, this is a quality of resistance bands they need to be aware of, because if you use them, your resistance through the range of motion is not going to be similar, because again, the more the band is stretched out, the more energy is being stored inside it, the more force your muscles need to produce through that part of the range of motion. So to make my point clear, we're gonna take a look at the assisted pull-up using a resistance band. So at the lower part of the movement, the assistance provided by my band will be at its peak. Why? Because it will be stretched the most. Once I start pulling myself up, the assistance provided by my band will decrease and reach the lowest point once I will be at the top part of the rep. When I go down again, the band will stretch again and assistance will increase from the top part of the rep to the lowest part of the rep. So what's happening is, when I'm doing this exercise, I will always have the most amount of assistance at the lowest part of the rep and the least amount of assistance when I reach the top of the rep. So imagine you doing this exercise a lot over a long period of time. That is going to result in a massive strength imbalance in your pull-up, because you have always been assisted the most at the lowest part of the rep. You're going to be the weakest at the lowest part of the rep, and because you have always gotten the least amount of resistance at the top part of the rep, you are going to be the strongest at the top part of the rep. So this happened to me in the beginning. In the beginning, when I started doing calisthenics, I could not do a single pull-up, and one of the main exercises that I did to work myself up to the pull-up was the resistance band assisted pull-up. Now, what happened for me is that after a while of doing that, I got severely weaker at the bottom part of the rep compared to the top part of the movement. And every single time when I would do just standard pull-ups, I would always give out first at the lowest part of the movement. So the conclusion of this video, the question you might be asking: are resistance bands bad to use? Now, no, I haven't said that. The only thing that I would say is, if you use them, you have to be aware of the fact that your resistance or your assistance through range of motion is not going to be constant. So to give you guys some tips when you use them, if you use them as a form of assistance, I don't think assisted pull-ups with resistance band are a bad thing to do. But if you do them, combine them with other exercises. You know, use negatives, and when you do negatives, pay attention to the lowest part of the movement. Make sure that you definitely don't give out. Make sure that you go all the way down, so that you make sure that you don't create a strength imbalance through range of motion. If you use them as a form of resistance, again, be aware of it. Make sure that you know that you are putting more stress on certain parts of the range of motion. Depends on what exercise you do, and you can actually use them if you are weaker at certain parts of the range of motion to improve on that specific part of the rep. So that was the video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, you know where the like button is, you know where to subscribe, you know where the comment section is if you have any suggestions, any things that I can adapt to make my videos better, because I am still learning. For now, hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys next time.